Have you ever stopped to wonder why some women seem to thrive well into their 90s and beyond, while others start fading after 70 or 80? It's not just luck, and it's not all about good genes either. The truth is, there are certain habits, subtle mindsets, and daily decisions that quietly shape how long and how well we live. Today, we're diving into 5 transformative secrets that most women aren't taught, but that can absolutely reshape the way you age. These insights aren't based on fads or extreme routines. They come from decades of observing women who age not just with grace, but with strength, clarity, and purpose. If you're over 65 or have loved ones who are, this video is for you. Maybe you've spent years caring for others and now finally have a moment to focus on yourself. Or perhaps you've begun to notice some changes in energy, mood, or motivation that leave you wondering what comes next. Whatever stage you're at, these 5 principles can help you not only extend your years, but enrich the quality of every day ahead. And let me tell you, secret number 5 is one most people overlook, but it's the key that brings everything else together. It's the reason some women get stronger with time, while others quietly give up. So stay with me until the end, because this isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about making sure those years are vibrant, fulfilling, and truly your own. If you're ready to shift how you think about aging, then you're in the right place. Let's begin. 1. Keep moving. The gentle power of daily activity. Here's something powerful to consider. It's not the passing of years that weakens us, it's the slowing down. One of the most consistent habits among women who live well into their 90s and beyond is remarkably simple. They don't stop moving. Now, I'm not talking about training for marathons or lifting heavy weights at the gym. In fact, some of the longest living women never step foot in a fitness center. What they do instead is build movement into their daily lives in a natural, sustainable way. Walking to the mailbox, sweeping the porch, tending to a small garden, or even dancing in the kitchen to their favorite tune. These moments of motion, though small, add up to something mighty. In many American households, as we get older, we're encouraged to take it easy, to sit more, rest more, and avoid risk. And while rest has its place, inactivity can become the real danger. Muscles shrink, balance falters, and even our mood can dip when our bodies stop engaging with the world. But the good news? It's never too late to start again. Try this. Begin your mornings with a 10-minute stroll. Not a power walk, just a gentle pace to get your joints moving and your lungs working. Or stretch while watching the morning news. You'll be surprised how much your body appreciates these micro efforts. They're like oil for your joints and energy for your spirit. One key lesson from women who live long, vibrant lives is that movement isn't seen as punishment, it's seen as joy. They move because it makes them feel alive. Whether it's kneeling in the dirt, planting tomatoes, or reaching for a book on the top shelf. Every action reminds the body it's still needed, still capable. And yes, science backs this up. Light daily activity boosts circulation, supports heart health, and helps keep cognitive function sharp. It reduces the risk of falls, strengthens bones, and keeps those stubborn aches and pains in check. But perhaps most importantly, it gives you agency. It reminds you that your body still has power, still has purpose, that you are not defined by your age, but by how you engage with each moment. So instead of thinking of movement as something you have to do, think of it as something you get to do. A daily gift to yourself, a chance to connect your body and mind in the most natural human way. Start small, stay consistent, and trust that every step, no matter how modest, is keeping you closer to vitality, balance, and independence. Because staying in motion isn't about chasing youth, it's about choosing life every single day. 2. Nourish your body. Eating well to age well. Let's face it, our relationship with food changes as we age. Maybe our appetite shifts. Maybe digestion becomes a little more sensitive. But one thing stays the same. What we put on our plates can make all the difference in how we feel, how we move, and how long we live. Many women who live past 90 share a common truth. They don't eat for entertainment. They eat to thrive. They understand that food isn't just fuel. It's medicine, it's energy, and it's self-respect served 3 times a day. So what exactly are they eating? Let's start with the obvious. They stay close to the earth. That means colorful vegetables, seasonal fruits, whole grains like brown rice and oats, and lean proteins. Think salmon, beans, or a hard-boiled egg. These foods aren't just healthy, they're practical. They're affordable, accessible, and gentle on an aging digestive system. Healthy fats also play a role. A drizzle of extra virgin olive oil on roasted vegetables or a handful of walnuts can do wonders for heart health and brain function. It's not about cutting fat, it's about choosing the right kind. And hydration, it's often overlooked. A simple glass of filtered water with lemon in the morning wakes up your digestion and gives your organs the support they need. Many older adults unintentionally drink too little water, mistaking thirst for fatigue. Staying properly hydrated can boost energy, prevent headaches, and even help with joint comfort. Now, just as important as what to include is what to avoid. Women who age gracefully tend to steer clear of ultra-processed foods, sugary cereals, frozen dinners packed with sodium, and anything with a long list of ingredients you can't pronounce. These products might be convenient, but over time they chip away at vitality and increase the risk of chronic illness. Here's the good news. Eating well doesn't have to mean restriction or sacrifice. It means intention. Taking a moment before each meal to ask, is this food going to nourish me? That simple question can be a compass for better choices. Also, it's not just what you eat, it's how you eat. Slow down, chew thoroughly, eat at the table, not in front of the TV. Savor the flavors. Gratitude and awareness can transform even the simplest meal into a healing ritual. And remember, your body is still working hard for you every day. Give it the tools it needs to do that job well. You don't have to follow a trendy diet to feel better. You just have to treat food like the partner in health that it truly is. With each bite, you have the chance to build strength, restore balance, and extend the joy of living. Because when you nourish your body, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. 3. Keep your mind sharp. Lifelong learning is the real fountain of youth. We often talk about the importance of staying physically active as we age. But what about our minds? The truth is, mental fitness is just as crucial as physical movement. And some would argue it's even more essential, especially after retirement when our routines begin to slow down. Women who live long and full lives understand this deeply. They don't just try to avoid forgetfulness, they train their brains like muscles. And that mindset, seeing the brain as something that can be nourished and strengthened, makes all the difference. So what are they doing differently? They read, not just light entertainment, but articles, novels, and nonfiction that challenge their thinking. They play games, not just for fun, but to exercise memory, logic, and problem solving. Crosswords, Sudoku, word puzzles, and even certain mobile apps can help keep the brain alert. They write too. Whether it's journaling about the day or jotting down reflections from a lifetime of experience, writing activates language, memory, and creativity all at once. But perhaps the most powerful brain-boosting habit they share is this. They stay curious. They ask questions. They seek out new ideas. They stay open to changing technology, even if it's just learning to text the grandkids or look up recipes online. And let's not forget the value of human connection. Conversations, shared stories, debates over dinner, these keep the mind engaged and sharpen our ability to think critically, listen, and respond. Isolation, on the other hand, can cause mental sluggishness faster than we realize. You don't have to enroll in college to keep learning. You can take free online courses, join a book club, or start a new hobby, like painting, learning a new language, or playing a musical instrument. Remember, the brain loves novelty. When we learn something new, we're literally forming fresh neural connections. It's like giving your brain a good stretch in the morning. One important thing to keep in mind, keeping mentally sharp isn't about being perfect or avoiding every little memory lapse. It's about staying engaged, staying curious, continuing to explore your interests and adapt to a changing world, even in small ways. We live in a culture that often underestimates the mental potential of older adults. But the women who thrive into their 80s and 90s know that growth doesn't stop at any age. In fact, learning may be even more meaningful now than ever before, because it keeps us connected, to ourselves, to others, and to life itself. So whether it's reading a new book, tackling a crossword, mentoring someone younger, or just starting a project you've been putting off, do something that wakes your mind up today. Because a sharp mind isn't just about memory, it's about purpose, pride, and staying alive inside. 4. Refuse to accept decline. Challenge the narrative of aging. One of the most damaging myths we face as we grow older is the idea that decline is inevitable, that just because you've hit 70, 80, or beyond, it's time to slow down, step back, and expect less from yourself. But let me ask you this. Who decided that aging means fading? Too often, well-meaning voices around us, doctors, family, even friends, encourage us to take it easy or tell us, that's just part of getting older. And yes, our bodies change. That's a fact. But there's a difference between adapting and giving up. The women who live the longest and live well don't buy into the idea that their best years are behind them. Instead, they push back. They stay engaged, set goals, and try new things. They don't measure their worth by what they used to do. They celebrate what they can still do and keep building from there. If we accept decline as our only option, we begin to shrink, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But when we choose resilience over resignation, we grow. We continue to evolve. Think about it this way. Your muscles may not lift what they once did, but they still respond to movement and care. Your energy may not last all day, but it still flows with purpose when you give it direction. Your voice may not be as loud, but it still carries wisdom the world needs. There's incredible power in mindset. Studies show that people who view aging positively live longer, experience fewer chronic illnesses, and maintain better mobility. It's not magic. It's the result of staying mentally and emotionally invested in your own potential. Here's how to start shifting that mindset. First, stop comparing yourself to your younger self. Life isn't a decline, it's a progression. What you offer now, wisdom, compassion, clarity, has a different kind of power. Honor it. Second, set new goals. They don't have to be huge. Maybe it's walking an extra block each day, learning to use a new app to connect with loved ones, or volunteering a few hours a week. These actions keep you forward-facing. And finally, speak life into your identity. Replace "I can't" with "I'll try." Swap "I'm too old" for "I'm still growing." These small changes in language carry big consequences in how you feel and act. Let's be clear. Aging is real, but decline as a destiny? That's optional. You have every right to remain active, vibrant, and valued. Don't let age dictate your limits. Let it highlight your strength. So today, make the conscious choice. Refuse to accept decline as inevitable. Instead, embrace the possibility that your best, most fulfilling chapter may still be unfolding. 5. Find your purpose. The lifeline that keeps you moving forward. Here's a truth we don't talk about enough. After retirement, after the kids are grown, after the routines of daily work fade away, many older adults begin to feel unanchored. Not unhappy necessarily, but adrift. The schedule is looser, the house is quieter, and some mornings just feel harder to get started. This is where purpose steps in, not as a grand mission, but as a lifeline. Women who live well into their 90s and beyond almost always have one thing in common. They still feel like they matter. They wake up with a reason to get out of bed, whether it's tending a garden, caring for a pet, volunteering, mentoring someone younger, or even simply staying available for a meaningful phone call with a friend. Purpose doesn't have to be world-changing. It just needs to be soul-stirring. Something that lights a fire in your heart, no matter how small. Why is purpose so important to longevity? Because without it, the days begin to blur. Energy dips, motivation fades. Our bodies, so sensitive to emotional states, start reflecting that inner emptiness with fatigue, aches, and disconnection. But with purpose, every system in your body seems to come alive. Studies continue to show that people with a clear sense of purpose are more likely to remain active, avoid depression, and even reduce the risk of heart disease and cognitive decline. That's no coincidence. Our brains and bodies are wired to seek meaning. When they find it, they respond by staying sharp, engaged, and resilient. So how do you discover your purpose if you're not sure what it is anymore? Start by asking, what makes me feel useful? What brings me joy? What do others naturally come to me for? The answers might surprise you. Maybe it's writing down stories from your childhood to pass on. Maybe it's helping out at your local library. Maybe it's teaching your grandchildren how to cook your favorite recipes. Purpose often hides in the ordinary. You don't have to change the world. You just need to feel connected to it. And remember, your purpose can change over time. What drove you at 40 might not serve you now. That's not failure, it's evolution. The key is to keep listening inward and letting your heart guide you toward the next right thing. A life filled with purpose feels different. It has weight, rhythm, direction. It pulls you toward each new day with curiosity and intent. So if you've been feeling like something's missing, don't ignore that feeling. It's not too late to reconnect. The women who age with joy and strength don't just have routines, they have reasons. And that's the real secret. When you find your purpose, you'll find your spark. And once that spark is lit, it can illuminate even the longest road ahead. So now you've heard the 5 powerful, time-tested habits that set apart women who thrive beyond 80, and even into their 90s and hundreds. They keep moving. They nourish their bodies with intention. They keep their minds engaged. They refuse to accept decline as destiny, and they root their lives in purpose. And here's the most important takeaway. None of these are reserved for the lucky or the elite. They're not about genetics or privilege. These are choices, daily, conscious, empowering choices that any of us can begin making today. You don't have to overhaul your entire life to see change. Just start small, walk a little more, add more color to your plate, read something new, reach out to someone, ask yourself what gives your life meaning, and follow that thread with curiosity and hope. Because aging in itself is not the enemy. Disconnection is. Passivity is. But when we stay engaged in body, mind, and spirit, we give ourselves the best chance not just to live longer, but to live better. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 secrets resonated with you the most? Is there one you're already doing, or one you're ready to try starting today? Drop a comment below and let's keep this conversation going. If this video brought value to your life, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Your support helps keep this channel alive and growing, and it means more than you know. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're not done growing. You're just getting started.